U.S. North Korea wars, imminent Judge 23, creating possible close order with leaders, for executive for peace, for the business, and the anniversary of all the United States war, including the summit, much CCC security, resistance, additional 1 million law, over use of time, opportunity, possible successful chance, no independent, North Korea to advance unconditional and universal policy in 23 to vote. Our traditional unconditional across all policy instruments. Advantage 2 is NC3. Vulnerabilities to nuclear architecture are abound instead of non-kinetic capabilities and take life. That's called the first sequential lock to nuclear circuit kinetic 21 vulnerability. This service is vulnerable. One can give a head assure consequences as exacerbators that are solution atmosphere. Attacks for different one or evidence for this content recording this comic on 236 not in improving function recognize report on this motion place motion and CV forces and our work was a reduce representing as such things like Jimmy movement or that adversary that against the public who show local function in which increases likelihood of being used in current launchers highly and the void exception to secure layer 20 signature although these are what return first use it instantly threat I think we're seeing over restrictions to got first limiter subsets of less partition and use the use line reference being placed with the terms of your always comes in and use public version as only as all the individual rules to some extent several number of classes you try here structure rule was the different and December on the first choose factor to surgery both requirement eventually they provide about version a danger versus the leaders less a little bit much more about all the packages by others and do need to be kind of very commercial by and separation efficient versus short weapons and defense access to nuclear weapons later always easy how this problem position as much as three safeguards to future censure either second round of nuclear as these nuclear listing of the possible alternative and important about us how we were saying critical thinking that is nuclear weapons so far nuclear versus public extinction enter 22 new war destroy escalation to provide and turns that another part of weapons final release one more Washington zero testing with the board to actually uncertainty war and implements ASAT attacks to diverse nuclear use plan solve by repowered deterrence bolster resistance activation critical electric or again because ASAT circuit circuit Chinese attacking implement for hospitals once the center credibility monitoring that is doing construction others the reason to the use of war with use of resistance team out of operation that's in another more easily on the sheer scope of capabilities was unique risk at 21 SD and so these gives related to first one shot to be and listeners and it is no one was having to draw others and draw orders and turn us all around and do some errors as a fish had said from the blue and I was assuming interference in that electronic to is moving W success and this is DW success marks the downstream connected by cutting that great protect right now those are others have also our mission the planet assurance and security and modernization which is incredible second check posture that preserves the credibility of the nuclear currently at 20 million reversing any trade replacing the international policy by divorce check out what is this system was it attacking the new security like the was it facing potential target modernization or fire to the race and to the radio having a and it can have ability to the person making kind of company is one of the working Jimmy personality on other system for the person is incredible overall make clear funny only just had an agent is a little recent investment trouble with private law first requires modifications in declaratory false and failure to obviate first use results in incredible posture that invites instant attacks on Harvey 22 and 23 underuse of other reservoir capabilities and its ability to tangle with the public like as to certain professional play out with a user a policy and a report showing the person said it's technically or something like that like spread policy only a couple of minutes instead of someone who is a representative information watching the reason as I found that the person is not will create a commission of operations version can see the whole server trigger for which we can use the new mind, and adversarial perceptions regarding crisis ability and response function to nuclear escalation area taking place in new states. Navigating over direction, the ocean channel also reasons based on the more force hydrating cleansing and taking direction that leaders on those rounds for person acting handles pressure nuclear completely pressure center will learn blue high on wise on our students that more conversation using the young using pressure pressure and first cycle will be on neighbors or whatever completely certain persons that each trigger figures the usual of your more about family season constantly delegate on one pressure use over what I say pressure deliver access on refer new using the community community to each person manager pressure of behaviors over backwards hospital with house robbery house robbers frequency of all that they are mistakenly used to reach first time rules or turn on the best was more person to be covered again quickly and you can those the way versus something to make it assurance will think better now versus any European series the likelihood of access not authorized use is exponential the cost operations 121 safeguards should be considered of the reaction to practical positive negative shoulders one have another treatment and response usually like this versus something we feel like free business will control increase drivers authorized to member regulation increase delivery use actually sense data when I want to teach you that community so I'll just kind of hospital quickly as danger delivery receiving this type of instruction make cost kind of conversion people order since unique versions of race polish 23 transcripts still available makes stock acceptable flight level flight and some for something current right obviously damage locations by the transport correction use like also for when we force carbon of the starting AD we kind of force text one that I don't want to say very cheap I want to no kind of use for there's some other friends that you like something in other words and then on to use constitutional systems about our competition safety security public and centers so long we can international government force over the list of time controversies that's what other is first one of the effects of it is Israel not sure so you put on missing the technical and new forces IRCC simultaneously pretty difficult but since the Russian public how many single these identify in her or possible given a very serious mistake external XIS social action for us to use not about any hours progress also continue pushing it's what design the plan resolves instability one credibility first responders inherently non-credible genuine commitment tracks risk you copy from the middle of years for solution play going and new church or WM certainly strongly war this doing guys are doing second turn person in clear drug use for first thing appeared in the latest like number by where accident on the church over and new use church for place for cheap fair fun it's what's coming the focus put on about sharing picture for some series US or but again was coming here of a kind of decision our show and the beneficiary something and it should be for some probably because exists well kind of survey university company responses to specific escalation searching for whether which comes real and to change your research for the except these rules and possibility their temperature checking fees a diversion is average response to each other part instead of anything parity fellow around two posture its first adversaries got major sports posture pulse when you particularly arsenal license moving possible versus the defense allies convincing these when president is watching Chicago State versus London super lavisher so making force to have a running which is that increase respect from here one by when you source capable of hearing around the concept like the church on the spiritual and the community grow anything with so just adversary fears and prevents accidental US launch in all 20 views from our flexibility the area version one of the views and for tracking the nutrition and to point clear use of the original fight individually elevating research for meaningful use for living so much structure as return elevator respects and authorized for period use with first flex and with primers common and is these most trying to near political space the plan the United States should limit first use of nuclear forces solvency the plan adopts nuclear no first use which resolve first use fears maintains second term deterrent and revitalizes US leadership currently in 21 one is it's to major schedule for bringing in one of the most possible by how drive plus the use so as far as giving special security of first use sources of first control against nuclear armed versus use that not first use I was sort of working on to make use of single use couple of policies and to what was determined respond with threats of national defense or allies if you referred it must be unambiguous and comprehensive couple which and you and then you like lighting something on something that like the law for formatting or something also says those like very proper funny training work and for instance uses that's NFU incorporating compound features to the limits for cities for comprehensive and finding it is like is word is given in comprehensive but these choose an established number of words which is providing once it's control policy is credible one process every 21 on the case except for military and practically close to the declaration a policy single intention of expectation universal cycle and united themselves agreeing for any diversion document independent not actually has relation two red lines the 23 work and for red lines in this stage for concrete policy included general course public outlets adversaries citing by policy lesson actions be loud leaders say clear is great impact for values of reputation have reputation that's so easily of those away of course they want free and pure chance 21 clear and pure speed engagement further trustworthy research compilation response for ordination for emergencies for clear one for policy these other enemies after knowledge to come on my social network again bypass line drug groups all I can you it was a lot of benefit of cooperation and renunciation trouble for regulations and create new expectations
default card was marked at expectations Jordan should be simplified what's the bond? Yeah,
what's that?
Want to talk about this NC3 advantage? What sort of attacks are coming down that make first use entangled or first use posture that blocks in?
The Perkovich and Batty card is probably the best card that you want to look to for this. It indicates that the United States' NC3 systems are vulnerable to attacks in a variety of domains, including but not limited to cyberspace, long-range strike, and I think it says something else too. Jordan has other things he wants to add. Things like jamming, spoofing, or adversaries using tactics that outside of the conventional topic.
Which adversaries?
Jordan, which ones do we want to specify?
Probably Russia and China.
Yeah.
Other adversaries could do it too.
Oh wait, like
North Korea.
what exactly within our NC3 currently that the plan would change currently makes it so that these adversaries trigger first use?
That is certainly Jordan's question.
So the plan doesn't change NC3. The plan does a couple things with NC3. So the first internal one relates to the adoption of second strike posture, a no first use policy that causes a shift in U.S. both war planning as well as modernization strategy for how it results in modernizing,
Well,
upgrading.
so what does that modernizing do in terms of preventing this?
Our is pretty descriptive of this. It's like increasing the security of systems, allowing us to better understand what is sort of going on. But the sort of crux of that, and
Seems kind of vague.
I don't like to take it all actually. Our evidence is very qualified. It seems to indicate that these alterations,
Just like, what does the security look like?
It would prioritize the ability of the president to maintain contact between him and his, not only nuclear advisors, but things like U.S. allies,
Well, the
military
US already has
forces,
contact with his nuclear advisors. Like, what about an NC3 means, or like,
Well,
NC3?
so actually,
command control communications.
Yeah,
that is what NC3 is.
yeah, that's the premise of the internal link, is that we will lose access and connection between the sort of chain of command of our nuclear system.
Which evidence do you think says that the US will currently lose access to its nuclear
Blair,
advisors?
both Blair cards.
Actually, like Blair, Berkovich, the Acton card, the Perry-Klina card.
Yeah, all the ones that are we need to prioritize to stop things like direct attacks, cyber jamming, from being able to stop people from receiving launch authorization.
Yeah, I guess my bigger question is just I'm still unsure what access to U.S. nuclear advisors does to prevent adversaries from still.
I don't know. I don't think the question that you're asking. It's our argument is that adversaries as well as a bunch of natural hazards as well are likely to disrupt the ability for the U.S.'s nuclear chain of command to be stable and resilient, and effective, especially in time of crisis.
Yeah, that's what
NC 7, crisis, North Korea,
I had you at
30.
yeah.
Sorry, what's that?
I had you at the same time you just said.
Okay. What's the total? I'm just thinking about calculation. For cross X. So it's 38.
You said 7 and then 1, 2, 3.
it wasn't in order, it was crisis, North Korea, NC 3.
Oh.
But they're all there. Is that the one? First of Japan, and Japanese and usage should go on over to Europe, over Japan. Expect to completely use money to use out of position and economic
DA, just to be clear, is the bill that you were saying is going to pass, does it include aid for Israel?
Yep.
It does? Okay,
Like,
so
Biden
like,
is introducing aid.
so the first thing Johnson did when he became Speaker of the House was he went on Fox News and is like, I want a bunch of different separate spending bills. How does Biden political capital solve that?
He wants, sorry, say that again, that he wants a bunch of different spending.
Yeah, he wants every aid package to be a different bill that Congress pushes through independent of one another, and then talk about how much he hates Ukraine aid.
So, I mean, I think that, like, you're gonna have to read cards talking about what Mike Johnson's saying. We read evidence of going to pass now.
Watch the news, like,
Watch the news.
You have not
I
read
read
evidence.
Read evidence. Like,
you've read evidence that says Biden is going to try to convince Congress
I
why.
think that Biden's going to be able to. Johnson, yes, in the past has said that he doesn't want funding for Ukraine aid. All Republican speakers have, and then some aid has been passed, which proves that he has been able to get us over the finish line. We read evidence that new
Like,
aid is
maybe,
key, and we
okay.
read evidence
The
that
spending gazette, which your evidence is just like British defense spending would increase. Feel like there are other reasons why Britain may have fractured the EU recently. What is the scenario for the dissent?
What do you mean? Those were like several different points put together. Like, what's the scenario for nuclear escalation? Like,
I mean, you just read a card that is like, inflaming nationalist rhetoric in the EU is bad. The internal link to that, according to Jenkins, was British defense spending.
Yeah.
Britain also left the
You're
EU.
gonna
Why
have to
does
read
that come?
evidence. You're gonna have to read evidence that's we read it.
Wait, no, because you read a link card about Britain,
Very
and
next
then
line,
an
that
EU.
card
It
is
says,
not
quote,
very
defense, it says, quote, defense spending leads to the empowerment of national populist parties.
Yes,
This
but-
integration of your
Okay, what other allies? Because Britain is the only one. Your card is the British public wants NATO to renounce the first use of nuclear weapons.
Our evidence, you're right, does speak broadly
This
to
line? Line of the card that says anything but Britain?
powers.
Line of the card that says anything but Britain.
But like literally
But
the
it
very
says-
next slide after Britain, it's about
Which one?
convincing other European allies in that same one.
I don't understand why, like, a broad thing about Europe, just because it doesn't list all dozens of
Okay,
countries.
because you read an EU impact to the British military spending gazette. The JCS counterpoint. Who are they recommending it to? Like it says the United States.
Like, they make the recommendation, like, when the JCS makes a recommendation, something our evidence is a recommendation.
Why? Like perm? I'm confused what the benefit is.
Sorry, which term?
Like do both. The Chavez card is just like they should recommend things.
Yeah, like, well, the inclusion of the plan without, like, the recommendation, like, it does the plan prior to the GCS introducing this recommendation. Like, we have a long perm block, like, I don't, like, maybe perm in the 2AC will read our block.
Okay. The Japan decided why would they stop cooperating with us over climate change in the local plan?
Because our evidence says the plan undermines the strength of the alliance, which spills over to
Well, your evidence is undermine Indo-Pacific deterrence.
It's such a pivotal, like,
It says
structure to the alliance.
Indo-Pacific deterrence, though,
Yeah.
is what the impact is about, or the internal impact is about, not climate change.
Like, we've
Confused.
read multiple different things that we think that the alliance
I'm really
including
confused.
Indo-Pacific deterrence, including climate change, including
Okay,
pandemics.
what's the sense of everything?
What?
What's the sense of everything?
Conditional assessment.
Can you kick points on the finish kind of one?
Sure, it's one things.
The
Yeah, like, whatever.
What is a decide under attack posture?
Decide under attack posture means that the U.S. will decide whether or not to use nuclear weapons when it's under attack. Like, I don't.
Okay, so how's that different from no first use, where we
Well,
can't
right
use
now,
nuclear
we have,
weapons
like, launch
until
under
we've been
attack.
nuked?
Well, in the status quo, we have launch. You're right, like, we do think we have some operational changes that can comport within it, but the plan does not announce that the U.S. Like, we still could strike.
Wait, so we don't
first.
announce that we adopted a
Well,
decide
if the
under
U.S.
attack
No,
posture?
sorry, something super important to clarify is the U.S. would be under a conventional attack and rule of the counterplan and still strike first. That's not true of the plan.
Really?
It's not decide under nuclear attack.
Okay.
What do you disagree with about what I just said?
That's not what I've read that it means, but I guess, okay.
What do you
Excited
think
to
it
see
means?
cards about this. Is there anything else? One more.
Well, the right evidence talks about this. It's like
Yeah. Wait, stop at 2 minutes. We're going to take
is North Korea advantage. The stability advantage. The NC3 advantage. The CBW pick, or the Charles CX, one of call it. The advantage counterplan. The JCS recommended counterplan. The complexity cap. The spending reset. Ukraine. Japan. Korean insurance is unstable now. Korean insurance is unstable now. Things like nuclear testing and the development of South Korean preemptive doctrine ensures that the conflict is likely to escalate. The conflict is imminent. No states any of their evidence against Korea impact goes nuclear due to miscalculation, positive controls unique due to the asymmetric nuclear system. Yes, North Korean first strike is not a question of intent, but rather an invert escalation plan does not increase instability because there's sufficient isolation North Korean fears for more recent evidence which accounts for North Korean perceptions now. The stability advantage should fall, even if I'm coming right along the lines of machinery out of a target left by the line of using visible the quality of the order. Now, the plan is credible on sufficiency. Refers to switch worst case scenario planning. It's a skill or not, yes, no, to inversion more applicable to present thing as possible, shapes on their distance, but audience now solves it through a process. It's an important step for broad risk reduction, simply as one is for a trade. That's evidence for words matter, but rather that's got a policy. And in multi perceptions that's limited, tribe appears to be well received, and as weight absolute research, that's Hansen, 6 past precedent. And then research proved by true warfare evidence as a false evidence, yes, US and adversary actions and test prove positive control due to both the US and adversary states results in the fog of war due to the separation results in inverted escalation of circumvention defense, also being correct due to a unique amendment trap resulting in the US intentionally using a nuke in order to respond to the atmosphere of Russia. The Russian defense is also incorrect against Ukraine, which all of our evidence factors in. NC3. New terrorist threat from the US is unique domestic terrorism existing from all their defense. It goes around with nuclear due to misattribution, ASAT attacks that have led plenty of different capabilities which the defense is not assumed. And things like basic spoofing, RPOs, etc. result in US nuclear first use due to fears of losing our nuclear systems. And if he does solve it, there's no war. We get new answers to the 1AR. No, the yes commitment trap over NC3 explicitly. The NPR explicitly said that we would do so. The other do so actions are required to admit irrelevant anyways because we will receive. An adversary for disarming first strike, but circumvention defense is hackable. Now it's a question of hacking and being successful rather than triggering a US fears which is necessary for the impact and entanglement occurs due to the overlap between systems are evidence most systems with uniqueness. Spoofing it doesn't necessarily need to be getting within systems, rather jamming and lasers, flashing bright lights in front of satellites is sufficient to trigger our impact. Ice again broadly might be somewhat immune, but silos are like air gap and isn't sufficient now due to the fact that USB flashlights, etc. can intercede with see those things. Cyber impact defense answered above. The CBW pick. Any exception just might solve Robert 22 electronic motions water does the USB options of open big out of line and blind system targeted and US government exception is always committed anytime this requires US committed to limit vapors which must make any adjustment and more and more conditions secrets the rest of the unconditional blind guarantees to show the series further sure security of others along the intentions firm with the counterpart example of plans and charts which you variations that if you include everything with caveats firm don't care about that. The kind of also control of limited weapons causes miscount Miller 18 tax incentive target running the system can enable the independent nuclear running elements of kinetic control communications dual use of every co-location hazards and potential freedom for destination integration time possibility high possibility can't trust CBW tax holder 20 weeks R looks at the go to policy worst case how well I answer as a minimum of CBW the US control resources and NSA not under that same part of vision for reducing and use for DC does this order makes it unlikely to impress no repetitive or retaliate attack no by weapons history of nothing sort of disproves this. There's no reason why it would result in sufficient violence, but if it does then obviously it isn't sufficiently lethal to result in extinction of the advantage card. Perm do both, it shows in a benefit. Perm do the plan in any combination of plans, conditionalities, voting, short returns, excuse me, time and strategy, which are competencies, otherwise research and advocacy, reactive resistance to short strategy and truth, which is education and character dispo solves. It can't solve now. The decide under attack plank is not solved because it's a question of messing with NC3 means the decisions even under decision. Decide under attack is very premise of the NC3 advantages and interviews with those things means US accents are so far more likely doesn't result in stability advantage either because we don't need to win the US accents internally for that. The deal learner plan doesn't solve that and if it's not perceived as credible. And adversaries don't believe it as resolving stability posture or stability or posture internally, so the affirmative now the NFU plank rotation to the counterplan, obviously not competitive, but does not solve any of the other impacts. Any other impacts can get sort of misinterpreted, and counterplans must be policies, can't just be on the minds of policymakers, and it does make the add impossible because we can't generate ground resolve deficits. Now the increased security plank is too vacuous. The premise of internally is not just based on security, not based on increasing security, but also general modernization, resulting in issues of entanglement, also preventing adversaries from striking in the first place, which is the premise of the commitment trap internally. The stability plank perception alone undermines the strategic stability are also top check 20. Logic versus logic assumptions by download. Real life research running this on other issues will really do new armament competition, increasing likelihood to a new war base and misconduct for any university benefits, extra cover, and if you will possibility to go warfare, the GCX counterpart. Process alterations don't solve. I said 1 number 3, for everyone else, no term one of the biggest not to use for any and under any circumstance, opening options is offered, which has not roles, and it's not the same for my government service and the system on agreement for acting use. And undertaking unilateral later prove that others would follow unilateral definition would greatly increase pressure on others. Also, to commit perm to both and shield perm to the counterpart example of the plan. Counterparts where the plan is a practical consequence. Our voting issues unpredictably steals the app, otherwise app ground. And topic education, perm to the plan and do the counterpart over all the nuclear issues, must compete on text and culture, reserves app flex, say no. Everyone tossing 42. Profit strategy related to policy, those pressure domestic political issues preparedness, and the U.S. unlikely to change, the net benefit is fake Brooks. 21. Claims of prices over recurring successes on whatever whether we at least new or two prices where we have really realistic conceptions for should not be a surprise. What is the concept of prices over time handling become any tech complexity? Framework that must refute the desirable implementation and avoid arbitrary inference of visual stasis ethics. Fairness and testing extinction must converge with logical and ethical. Permutation do both predictions work and are good. 1, there's zero link uniqueness, so the negative when all our predictions are wrong. 2, debate is too large for the ballot, not truth. Their criticism of that academic figure in context would have flawed the debate and iteratively results anyways. Alternative fails that result in changing broad institutions anyways. Floating pigs, vague, utopian, alter all voting issues makes me impossible. Because spikes out, I don't really expect that all act offense. Going to be the alt card?
You should just say the one for the alt.
Yeah, the alt fails and predictions are sufficient because we have obviously those to determine things previously and actually make decisions that have resulted in their impacts. And there's also no one-to-one correlation between making predictions and like zero policy failure spending data. EU high defense spending markets 20 figures included. In addition to the amounts of defensive spending in Europe, reaching all costing those financial prices increased 40%, but no trade-off in turn. Against the 20 experts are arguing that the defense funds are free money to do the opposite without many high-tech jobs in defense. As more will mitigate economic reserve Europe defense sectors included critical sectors self-defense. The US and third countries putting budgets in the increase Europe's dependency on third states. No spillover plan is forced to take control of defense. There are who withdraw. No EU impact. Brooklyn will for no EU impact. There's like. No, obviously no risk of autonomous defense. They would never do those things and it costs too much money in the first place, so they've never risked it. The one ceiling is about England, Aussie bumped process politics. No backlash, USA 22 reporting is further. One of those things can ground changes in many measures, the nation's sailings, and then change gears to be a little risky. Yeah, it's instant backlash at 4 times. Issues from our randomized low cost 21 divert. Provides an exposure vulnerability, say focus on your transition, give optimism, the eyesight instructions, its investment is will say that main highway, but this is got on top of it. The search band and probably descent out intrinsic, easy to solve both. The DA in the plan by passing both easy fails, alligator 21. And so we enter residents are in a weak position, we argue with the executive. It's just ways the president cannot compel Congress in size of the context. It's most importantly, what's the country in the margins, Ukraine able pass grid. 126, normal, funding for key voters and opposition partners. Johnson was funding break. The agenda cost was last for Rosa Johnson. And the kind of late voting against Emory 22 and 23, right against the exercise. Outside crowd or no fans want to blow up the system. Other measures solved Nichols 10-15 Biden. In letting waste without a capital officials say counter interest in the Russian assets and Pentagon sent more than $1 million considering any existing program. A doesn't solve attention. Pentagon's 1048 billion are Ukraine's slow to translate with manufacturers, logistical challenges, comments, and filings and jobs are going to all sides of the flood. Until a year and a half since invasion, companies are hard workers and taking away and restore production several more years before release of Iraq for Ukraine because impact industry no running this impact $21 alarmist focus represents all of it adjustment Iran and another threat to major directive major military aggression requires for require the US to maintain order for punishment if sanctions and dynamic force fail Japan. Diplomacy solves around that on 19 and if you include clear consistent messaging, every agreement with allies at first use is not credible for allies, but it's strategic bluff that calls out assurances of them. And while China bought Ukraine from the DA Master 23 China's growing measure on the what is the drive allies and culture related to just a word, except that it failure because you could friendly sources in China talking about how say that Ukraine without war issue different dimension TV and WPN on social question using extended nuclear press suggested foreign news assurances stop now, retrenchment, base withdrawals, and SMA fights no link and bolsters conventional forces children. At 20, nobody grows in nuclear belly withdrawal is a complete leadership opinion on and uniformly whether there's a work and expert on territorializing and use of complex conventional forces go through the US budget. Versus second strike solves versus the short term retail. That's the Perry evidence empirics to prove on gravitational presence and nuclear withdrawal from SOCO and the UK. Allies have recently currently post 22. Greater than a little fact allies never benefits from these costs of covering US actions to achieve members pushes hierarchy. Allies weapon any source of trade distribution of armies worth the cost. The massive cost of elements is worth none of reducing for reach from Europe consider and in fact its allies if you get new impact because they read new impacts that want to see impact claims actually get to a reason why they cause extinction. Things like intervening actors, the fact that these things have all collapsed in the past and have not resulted in impact sufficient defense as of the 2AC. Because they have not got a card for anything, go back to the K. I didn't know the card, but yeah. Go back to the K. All fixed. Turn off the map. Resist inflation, oversimplify. Everyone's facility has running discourse that do not predict will follow. Change may be realism, fascist, and they can check the causal connections. There is no reason any changes in any fact being the way we make a lot of predictions of your using something more fashion window. Cost and effect of deny the prediction have no basis to rely actually impossible predictions have assassin predictions that describe problems in terms that is good great. Light language leaders choose the course of action predicting for this all. A person policy or required prediction that few offer not required and are not possible. Go back to Ukraine's aid. Oh yeah, sorry. The advantage counterplan obviously links in the benefit, the de-alerting stuff, etc. Alter alliances, cause spending fights, and also links to politics because it's consequential changes and user policy.
We have 337 actually. Okay, are you good?
Yep.
For Japan Day, diplomacy solves evidence is like 8 words, not about Japan. It doesn't say Japan perceives diplomacy as reassuring them. Why do you think this is like good at all?
So I think the conjunction of cards, the Ramthan card, the one I see parry evidence, as well as I believe.
But it's like you have to extend this card in combination with other cards. Like, can you
Yes, we've read multiple cards already, but one you see that said diplomacy solve.
Okay, but like, let's speak to Japan's perception.
Yeah.
You think the parry card says Japan? Okay.
Yeah, it's about our allies. So it's
We
Ramthan.
did really want to see part of that.
The
We
argument
appreciate
here
that.
is proof of withdrawal from South Korea. Like, what is the warrant in that analytic?
The U.S.-Japan alliance did not utterly collapse when the United States decided to remove its nuclear forces from Northeast Asia. If that wasn't sufficient, then obviously the plan is not.
Okay, the non-credible argument on stability, or I guess a different question related to Japan. If
Yeah.
first use isn't credible, why is it escalatory?
First use isn't credible for the defense of our allies from their perspective.
Right, but why is it escalatory then for Russia and China? The US
Okay, so the 1AC isolates the idea that our adversaries are engaging in a dual-pronged hedging strategy. What this means is that our adversaries, believe it to be somewhat incredible, but also have to worst case assume that the United States is highly likely to
Okay,
engage
so
in a first strike
I
successful.
don't understand then why they would trust the plan. It's true that right now they don't necessarily believe that the U.S. will credibly use first use, but they always have to assume the worst. Why is that always have to assume the worst?
so the
Why is
worst-
it not true of the plan?
Yeah. So the way the worst case assumptions work is it's a question of not like 100% making it certain that the United States will not first strike them. Rather, it's a question of, are they generally, not concerned that the United States will just randomly engage in a bolt-on blue attack.
The Falk evidence on the stability advantage,
Yep.
the last line says, quote, nevertheless, it is important to distinguish between the advocacy and adoption, blah, blah, blah. That is a declaration plus an appropriate system of implementation. The obviously is not an appropriate system of implementation, correct? Since you've only
Disagree.
the declaratory policy. Okay, so you disagree.
The 1AC Kaplan card says the likely result of declaratory NFU policy would be alterations to military training, war planning, and posture.
What does that mean?
The U.S. military now knows that it can't plan for a scenario where it would first use a nuke in a conflict, so they
You guys know that, and then we do what?
we would adjust accordingly.
What
But
does that mean?
mainly changing our war planning and exercises.
What
is
does it
what we
mean
talk
to change our rule thing? Can you be any more specific?
No, like literally we change our war planning. Like when we release documents and when we talk about it in the media and the public and like
Okay,
within our
so if we
government,
talk in
how
the
we do
media and the public about how the U.S. is now not going to do anything.
Well, we think that-
How do you access all the Japan terms? If it's true that like the U.S. is going to follow up with doing all of these like super like we're not doing all these like crazy nuclear things, like how are those arguments true?
Because the link terms say that that's good.
I know, but you just said that to comport with a declaratory policy to assure China and Russia we're going to change our war planning, we're going to do all these other things.
To be clear,
comport with that, how is that consistent with the link terms about increasing assurances?
So because our evidence assumes that, like the app doesn't result we don't think it results in like de-alerting, getting rid of ICBMs or anything like
Okay,
that. Like literally it's like changing training exercises and like literally.
JCS counterplan, if we wouldn't say yes, then why does the first part apply? Because if we wouldn't say yes, it wouldn't hold the option.
I disagree. The fact that the counterplan is sort of an arbitrary process by which it occurs sort of distorts the signal that.
This
our
evidence just says
adversary
it's
has.
bad if you hold the option for nuclear use. It says that's awkward. What's the one impact to awkwardness? The second, if we wouldn't say yes, I don't understand why this applies.
Because the process by which the counterplan gets there is awkward, and our adversaries perceive it as such, and that means they also see it as writing. So.
Okay, and then you skipped the Emory card on JCS.
Yeah.
And then on entanglement, you said, like, your evidence is more recent, ours is from 22, what's changed in the last, 9 months?
Like what aspects of entanglement? Like I can talk about space assets, cyber assets, like
Okay,
there's a bunch of different
we
things.
don't, it's fine, we're gonna talk about. We have 10. Wait, so I have one more clarification question.
Yeah.
What was the last argument you made on CDWs? Like, you didn't read all these cards, right?
Which card?
On CDWs, like, you didn't.
I said no. I said no by in fact. Reasons.
Turns this because if you can chip at any time, this indicates all three advantages so far. So things that they actions means they cannot solve the terminal impact. There's no accidents unless you put the best out there to keep the source like this all like enemy. Just make all that false and lose the pressures are wrong means there's procedures. Somehow that instead to choose the worst possible action and completely different with this one see that which is also defense with the NC3 advantage. Now it's got this 1-1. There's no risk of once you back in the ship to 0-0. And you're looking to combination so accident all being by the which see that it completely overtaking words not custom to the ones first try by choice not accident. That's risk. There's no words on that accident. The dog that accident something so confident there was a give back to the little one was that process and there was a new simple of the reality and no where there's one at all. This is the definition of the definition one there words there. Only time to which you they have some rare stuff that is over there one right so that the war is rule that the sense where there's no chance of Russian war. It's next to zero road cases the second unless there's going to be increasing conclusions unlikely because once I see as the conclusion especially never use a new once he should so that the battlefield failure had displayed the public from wanting anything to do with wars feels like a loss over messing with this and coming back traps up is wrong one. It's too much of like some US response is flexible and capable of evidence of work that maintaining and leading directors and domestic pressure sport even more just time second there's no effect on time. Veronica and Rose girlfriend girls second no some there's a person drug and there's no self public doesn't the connection there's a lot of the news and the transfer from Rachel response for that. In fact, you guys are really beginning to be too because the most because construction community so there's nothing to say. You know, there's no country and consistency. The North Korea there's no testing or isolation now needs to be accessibility first but individuals as the North Korea there's no adversaries, keeps a low level foot, and 21 methods and child adversaries, some way that I can't remember the broken so there's people some of the legitimate some of the costly mobility, some potential so really unavoidable for king, but there's no war, struggle, factor, military, political, policy, news, China, was occupied by refugees, South Korea, which in the US, things like this rationality came off news for nation insurance actions and the war with evidence that NC3 advantage cross by accidents defense that was about cyber attacks and XBMs is not true zero finish one attacks on community groups or conducting or wrong where you go with these attacks on vulnerability warnings is wrong NC3 is not just comprehension with the sequencing of the control of community groups which is one push on it and what they say is cyber operations are coming down and solves also for today as we're going to some reading visual is doing cyber protection become mobile for you can control so that the engineer is about for those we can do something for the some weapon systems are put on alert and awareness software systems and without some of the ideas we will have a wall as we need develop technology and our master are disconnected that's what I want to do with our revolution you know as I cyber threats could made those moving as much as all and those 18 and since Lauren touching the community beings interpret Russian council as assessing the response of attack people paradigms and escalation cooperative seeking measures to reduce escalation there's no terminal path to cyber attacks that fools and critical skills actors with uncertainties and defect and zero ability to response retaliation. Okay. How much time do we have? Actually yeah.
I wanted to talk about the internal benefit. I guess I'm a little bit confused. So the JCS recommends the plan.
Yeah.
What spillover effect does that then have that, increases warfighting?
Yeah, so I think the Chavez evidence, the Lee evidence, and the one in C see that political and military mismatch is important for effective warfighting. It describes instances in which civilian leaders acting alone has been ineffective in the context of high-tech related warfare strategies. Military mismatch
So I'm a little bit confused. How are civilian leaders the only people acting in the area of high-tech warfare now?
Well, that is like a quote from our one in C the evidence, or one in C Chavez evidence, and it's also not a TCR.
Okay, I guess the other question, JCS recommends it right now, half of the JCS does not exist. How at all is this perceived?
Well, I mean, Brown definitely exists. That's what our evidence is about.
You're talking about what now?
Like the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Yeah, right, cool. Actually, that's all I have.
Okay.
We have 3 left.
The rest is prep.
Are you doing the rest of
No,
it?
no.
Okay.
Ah.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
We have 7.
Yeah. What's up?
That's just what time do we have?
Oh, 17.
7:19. Just look at my tweets. Kara and
card. It's from a person with a bachelor's degree. It's like, why is this person qualified?
Lots of big card because it was in conjunction with his like advisor.
I'm running my honors thesis right now with a professor about nuclear insurance. When like that is published,
I mean,
if
you
the
can
trustee
get
is
it published and then Henry Jackson, like, I get an honor. I don't know.
That's
Like,
like
I don't care about that. Like, it's written under evaluation with thesis advisor.
Yeah.
If it's for like answer the warrants in the argument.
Okay. The railroad card is it's from 17, but it's in reference to the 2010 NPR. Why is it predictive of current nuclear posture and the way that Japan views things?
But like, because we don't think that there's been anything like that's changed in your direction as opposed to our direction since 2017. If anything, like threats have made Japan only rely more on U.S. nuclear rally. And I read like 22 and 23F that also substantiates that. And the 2010 NPR is like
Grace, you read the Cannon Durant was that right? Like we can't solve mod because China doesn't believe the plan.
I read the first two parts of it. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. I sent it out. Oh, jeez. Everything's we're good for order? Okay. It will be stability advantage, Korea advantage, NC3 advantage, JCS counterpart and this side.
Give me 1 second. Korea, stability, and safety.
Yeah, stability Korea.
Stability, and safety.
Yeah. And then counter.
And if it was credible 1 for sufficiency, it's a scalar, not yes, no, which is up to all the calculations given perception and inverts their warned about their perceptions because adversaries don't want to spend money if they don't have to. 2. Process signals with 10 aim willingness for reverse reduction as evidence stops the perception will be reversed and takes out the miscalculations perceived as CBM. 3. Adherence to other countries and if you were strange concerns, especially in the short term, it's Hansen proved by prior president over Joe Morgan that's caused their index to answer the thesis of this argument. 4. Words matter, create your own red lines that convey material information that's leaving is probably middle of the words in the context of nuclear posture. 5. It's operational changes are inevitable due to otherwise illogical inconsistencies, military planning, posture changes include force structure planning, and training that's comboed and burns their other warrant. I'm going to read the card. Yes, this government had positive control stops airmen for prevention launch by literally mandating it only, they've only extended defense to U.S. command and control, but if drive China and Russia launch a warning legal causes nuclear war from their perceptions, guarantee nuclear launch in the fog of war. Yes, Russia impact Ukraine's uniqueness. It shows a willingness to escalate. Yes, actually concede no commitment traps. It means that inevitable adversary testing that they've conceded will probe U.S. red lines, takes out the decided, will expose first use threats as incredible, which proves even if they're right about short-term uniqueness and first use threats being credible or deterrent, it will prove to have allies that first use threats do not deter anybody and proves that our threats are hollow. The North Korea advantage, absolutely there is war. Now first use threats drive North Korean pre-delegation of nuclear posture and cause extinction. It's distinct from their defense because North Korea demanded the plans and NSA and conceded its comments for the measure, which takes out the counterplan and improves the impact of all the deficits. Ambiguity causes arsenal insecurity. We've read studies that indicate that it drives pre-delegation, which guarantees extinction and circumvents their defense because it's a question of regime survival. The NC3 advantage, yes, there are attacks in status quo, ASATs guarantee nuclear war, spoofing logs and miscalculation. In the fog of war, domestic terrorist attacks on the NC3 causing miscalculated launch. It's not about the terrorist acquiring a nuclear weapon, but about mislaunching one which guarantees extinction. And our evidence is not about ICBMs, but communication networks, which are guaranteed to hack and only solved in the world of plane. JCS, in that terms, the disadvantage tool and online TV forces assure allies the umbrella and seriously system will cost even to those starting weapons. It serves to conclude nuclear triad. JCS counterpoint. No CMR impact. Crisis is overstated. The military always has a role. It's capable of rebounding. It's broke. The card is great. It's like the history of crisis and proven by the vagueness of the impact. There's no impacts to this. Civilians receive control of the military options if it gets serious. No warrant for military leaders not being able to solve it. It's entirely incoherent. Brooks at 21 difference. It's able to distinguish about civilian press. Maybe I may overstate his character. Documented evidence or evidence of the press. I don't know myself for evidence like ambiguous CMR things on as bad as they seem to aggravation fucking increase concerning possible running between military. I didn't know the diplomacy development and policy in the late 18th century. Those who control military unique ability. No democracy impact resilient improved by the past decade. Numbers external threats like this. Trump, no authoritarian elections, no totalitarianism, impact millions of more 18 citizens. The authoritarian war on the short terms of embedded in culture, boxing, politicians, short present, those short terms, leaders, vehicles, social problems, addressing an obligate interest, lobbying, democracy, interference, allegation, as sales. The politicians will hold into corporate interest doesn't solve certainty. One ad hoc changes are incoherent and internal process, which adversary is not binding units. The results of the plan, China, Russia, perceived as Biden's leading necessary to persuasion concerns. That's 2 ECF. 2 durable fiat solves backlash. 3 doesn't take out the case. That's 15 defense essential. CMR helps reach ability, giving legs. The policy that if you raise questions about the trade-off at the heart of normal CMR permutation do both solve it because it's perceived as implementation. Say no. 1, everyone disliked it. Institutional interests are baked in. Biden is especially unlikely given Chinese aggression in Ukraine and Gaza, especially before an election that's tapered. 2, a friend just says they want expertise. It's about Obama. It's not answer this. 3, Baker's terrible. It's not predictive. 4, his Saunders is about Bush and the Iraq War, not the plan. 5, is Allen is just too old. 6, every facet inside your now is against it. Sound 21. And if you under my fortune compulsive program actions and program interest depending on cities and states and those basic labs and industry, banks, universities, consultancy firms, and thinking systems makes extremely difficult presentation more policy nurses result lobby. Underwriting and competence to explain those little progress. 7, the president holds the power calls 21. Authors overstate military power to the end. President change the policy they wanted. Taking advice like words, simple military conversations that equal preferences at the final word. Officers depending on trying to stop record in the last few decades. Presidents draw the lines. 8 first use. 8 first use is enshrined in lenient sloping 19 security concerns to prominent leads during behavioral assessment for health policy. First use signals bounds well for interest leads from heavily duty commanders and other interest officials have learned an opportunity to influence efforts to recalibrate that sector are largely relevant. Japan to say. Nothing has terminals. The listing a bunch of things are so good Japan would never stop cooperating on us. Does not constitute an impact. Yes, we did not drop Prolif. You did not read an impact to it. Go Japan Prolif back for 1892. Recently break out the use from the training for version material that you might have economy for president and trades use. Both of Japan's competent companies work in relation to Washington Region 3. No principal strong ecology. AAB law that legal bureaucratic scientific public vetoes are powerful trades no impact in like 20. Won't receive with backlash. Come on, 23 study demonstration Japan not absorbed midterm options development that develops damage trust within the U.S. I don't know within the U.S. like worst case operation is treaty. Choice places enormous political pressure on Japan resulting in the fall of the government structures in pursuit. One of my vital interests, DCLS, security control by isolation, national veto players, Castle 22, Chairman on fire, news and insurance players, strengthening arms, administrative right bodies, and insurance local governments have the right to veto this. Public opposition, independence, and other security measures. Deacon and Solgan 23 decades old abstention device predictions should look at consideration of it. Take independence, environmental litigation, incentives, rain on new. Public opinion made a post research Japan launch on no expansion, joint neutral, and new defense agreements, lengthy testing, and micro delivery systems, Castle 22, signature acquisition, test over period, which committees can how much Japan would does not have cable aircraft powers or planes several U.S. planes, however, would require U.S. approval. No disease impact, Taylor 23 pandemic, something like that. Extending human species, humanity, starving, includes some groups like sleeping, impossible, some remain unaffected, but still populations will label. Well, greater resistance, modern sanitation, and to medicine, reduce transmission, medical systems classes to mitigate terminals, no climate impact, number 21. To control climate disasters, try to protect while doing everything that climate is changing, so human response to the large governmental defense spies and studies is tendency to ignore adaptation that are reversed 1,300 times. Gravity humanity can negate all damage, ignoring adaptation, rather misinforms. What should I do now? Alliance of resilient barriers. Is Japan becoming a climate denialist post-claim that Trump proves network benefits outweigh U.S. abandonment, trade disputes in Iraq? Both prove allies would rather weather the storm knowing they have to pay for self-defense. That's Kelly. Should I read the card?
Yeah.
Which one? Trump proves Kelly post when Trump no longer allies out of Trump's ego, remember, was talking to in social Japan, Benjamin did nothing more. To make louder moves other U.S. proteges, line of other U.S. leadership, change something about policy, Trump was not affect Japanese policy choice or defense spending, Japan or the tiger, just no. No link, retaliation, the plan maintains the nuclear rebellion, said no allies aligned to first threat that's children. First threats are not credible, is on the case. Mochizuki's undergrads is dumb, not answering the war, 3 better cards. Their evidence is lazy punishment. Last Lewis 18. We said our always having a few don't want any viewpoint. And say I agree with terrified friends. Never taking out action like call this ours are fronts. That card is marked as fronts.
You might have been back.
Yeah.
We'll just go. They have a lot.
Actually, you can start.
No, no. This will head on answers to the squares, but they don't like the plans. Since our evidence that overcomes quote direct opposition to proposal second is analytical expertise, friend, and reader says that it shows difference. It would overcome the combination of presidential and cabinet position that is simply by nuclear policies that on the Asian presidents refuse to hear anyone out of the sound wearing uniform learns by this unique and one big organization says he's all in on listening to the DCS is fully true. The forced production of dishonors that is indicates that magnifies the impact of Jesus' reputation for is the principal Asian problem dropped into one of our commander-in-chief rules forces and given to national security. The evidence that it was no truth like leaders from doing the opposite. All answer there's specific AI's first war was election scene neck argument because both pieces but what it seems to be front evidence is that the reason for political backlash is insulated by military recommendations since they are seen as a separate institution that is not influenced by politics. Second is the next single evidence presented or evidence is terrible and accurate and wrong or evidence is that right will essentially rely on wrong many chairman. This is right now when it comes to the shooting dishonors. Evidence might be about Bush, but it's about the broader trend that president experiences, especially the Congress using force, which they will abide by. It also assumes words are evidence that speaks to other civilian leaders, influencing them to go the other way. Now, the Kentucky accepted their own arguments, but not answering our nine courts, all execution dares. They say no, evidence is terrible. Disarm evidence is by the way, disarmament is difficult only mentions, and anything but the concept of why will never fully disarm, which is something common. It's also about things like the Heritage Foundation would be against the plan by it. Obviously, it's not even about that. It's about the military being a pro-nuclear actor, which is out. Assuming the count as the way our Collins evidence is about troops versus how the president has the final word. We agree. We read evidence of the president generally seeks to change his recommendations, and specifically in the context of nuclear policy. Third is the one year 20 evidence that assuming the count plan actually saying nothing, just about political treaties or two humanitarian coup gives a fuck. Okay. Continue to roll, no offense here. The crisis ability advantage. Declaratory policy is not credible when it goes zeros case and also all solvency deficits on the count plan because their adversaries do not trust the U.S. reversibility of declaratory numbers policy. It's just that nobody receives the durable would never buy. Remember, durable fiat exists in debate now that my adversaries seems are inherently suspect and the U.S. will shift posture to Ontario will remember that's more evidence to the party. Says that overnight reversal which the adversaries perceive us willing to break our promise and use China as a limit says which cities in Africa because we have offensive concept, but reversibility is hard to see that operation changes that enemy reversal would aggravate rather than deepen the risk of escalation, which answers all the redlining arguments. Now, there's no such scenario which applies both to the NC3 and North Korea. Worse are by choice, not accident states. They're not supplementing to make a copy that neither design and get one fair move, but actually causes unstoppable action reaction that was impacting that's packing push and answers their arguments about why other countries would strike first. They would not launch because of tech new early warning systems, which the US and adversaries are not pressurized to launch immediately. Waiting is a priority option for both sides. And of course, for either would have neutralized all of these North Korea advantage. There's no war coming down Kentucky, but effectively to North Korea on the policy side. They're ruler. And this is that North Korea does not partner any sort of military direction. The states have the advantage because the cruise war is not coming down, but broadly structural factors restrain can down those political costs. News caution China and staff came out of fear of refugees and rationalities that King wants to do for invasion insurance. Not to use them. The NC3 advantage. There's no terminal impact to cyber attacks coming from terrorists or the black and technical skills that actors possess. The uncertainties of the background. Since they are unwilling to risk mass retaliation or evidence is facing security, there's also no ASAP or new terror exhibited or new terror. Impact is too expensive and dangerous that they cannot risk it. At the counter plan, we have made arguments for why the signals that the 1AC sends is worse for their impacts than the counter plan does, and we have terminal defense to all of this. They don't have a solvency deficit tied to a terminal impact in the 1AR. This where is not going to be.
the order is Korea, stability, NC3, JCS. U.S. North Korea wars imminent in the status quo. I want to see John indicates that a combination of North Korean nuclear testing that will happen now, as well as South Korean preemptive nuclear doctrine in the U.S. The nuclear first doctrine also sort of coalesce, making it likely that the nuclear crisis will escalate now. It will happen immediately. Millie is for Millie started with the U.S. military predicts it will happen far sooner than any direct scenarios, which normally takes out, which actually outweighs any impact on any event on the counterplan on sheer time frame. Nuclear war turns out other impacts. Makes it impossible to cooperate over solving things such as evil AI. Democracy prevents the cyber attacks, also causes all these things to escalate inevitably. The nuclear war, nuclear conflict already ongoing. It cascades globally, causes China and Russia to draw in all the effects of the 1AC. It also positive control of North Korea. U.S. versus posture causes North Korea to both engage in nuclear testing and also to adopt positive control, which means that in the fog of war, invert nuclear escalation over inevitable U.S. and North Korea conventional clashes that all certainly go nuclear due to misattribution and the belief that the United States might engage in just our first strike. This is unique and independent of all the other scenarios because North Korea has a nuclear arsenal where it is extremely asymmetric, where I just first strike with wipe out all of their arsenals. They have unique incentive to use it or lose it. The only event was that we read a card that we see Mueller talk about this, says that they are no threat because the United States military readiness is not taking on the impact of nuclear escalation, not about the ability to conventionally challenge the United States. Is hegemony now, the stability advantage, yes, credibility. One, the frame for this is that the 1 hour 6 months a year as well as the 1AC that the North Korea advantage is sort of couched differently than the rest of these things. Bottom of the 1AC North Korea advantage, the Kim card, and as well as the Chang card indicate that an NFU is unique for North Korea because it's displayed as a negative security assurance that they have specifically called for, which circumvents other defense. Yes, other things like China, Russia might be, it might somewhat not trust the plan, but there's no reason why North Korea does not, especially because they uniquely perceive it as beginning of CBMs in a process by which we begin to de-escalate, which sort of subsumes all their defense. But I'll answer the rest of the technical not credible stuff here anyway. Second is awareness and sufficiency. Do not view it on a scale. Level. North Korea does not have. North Korea does not want without positive control. They know it is dangerous. It's a question of sufficiently persuasion that the United States will not nuke them in a bullet out of the blue attack. Even if there's some risk that they believe the United States might nuke them. The reason why the plan is credible because it only entrenches that as the North Korea themselves gets aggressive, which sort of reverses all their warrants. Third is they concede to the process warrants. So the one see Evans, Letovich, and Hansen efforts all slightly linear peers as well as the demonstration. The numbers you also received as the U.S. is demonstrating willingness to engage in peace talks with our adversaries and not just peace talks but also willing to engage in conflict measures and sort of willing to not threaten to first strike them for bypass things like banning germ warfare, also the diversion of India and China's NFU, which at least resolves the risk of escalation in the short term, which at least sufficient to solve the impact accident because it's incorrect, not assume North Korea, which is not above. You can read our cards after the debate. Now the NC3 bench can see the cyber defense, the terrorism defense, and I think the right of also been ASAP defense here. Obviously takes out all those relevant effects of the JCS counterplan. Don't care if they didn't have warrants, they set them, punish them for it. The JCS counterplan now at the top. No absolute zero risk of a CMR impact. This is absolute hodgepodge. Spread at 100 miles an hour with no clear coherent warrant. Why the JCS warfighting solves any existential risk. They appeal to X risk that the democracy will either red defense those things or far too vacuous for you to ever vote on given the specific app scenario that turns all their impacts. Now, first piece of evidence you should look at is the Brooks card says that things are inevitably resilient. People sort of overhype the idea of there being a CMR crisis that we don't sort of know the fine lines and the breaks between whether or not there's civilian or military control. And history compares sort of demonstrate that. The second piece of Brooks evidence on the wire demonstrates the fact that that is especially true because the only reason why CMR ever mattered as I'm sure about the 1800s is when the military fulfilled a unique role and had unique aspects of control. There's no reason why civilians are uniquely worse to resolve any of their extraneous X-risk impacts or any of those things. Also, again, indicates sort of the bright line that they are to distinguish between whether or not the counterplan assault that results in sufficient military control to resolve the impacts is sort of ad hoc and sort of does not rely on the bright lines that they so articulated. So you should view it as extremely linear, which means that you can just air out the level of impact. Now, extend no climate impact. I'll move on to extend no climate impact due to adaptation as well. We won't reach existential levels of warming. That was the longer card on the other page. Takes on that total impact. Extend no pandemic. It's not violent or lethal enough. That was the piece of Taylor evidence that was done on the Japan side. Also sees that impact. Now, the other thing was the AI thing. They dropped a defense to always sort of coalescing risks that democracy can solve. Moyo might not be terminal impact defense as you usually prefer, but it does say that democracies are incapable of solving those things. And in fact, totalitarian states are far better at resolving all these numerous existential risks and sort of the fallacy of democracy cannot ever means that people means sort of idiotic public and never sort of coalesce or resolve insufficient cooperation. States do not actually cooperate with each other over these things. Are not capable of solving. They do not need to rehash it because they dropped a card in the 1 hour. Now the rest of the explanation of the DA was an appeal to X risk. Ask yourself what are these X risks? What are they talking about? The only thing that the TMR really gets to here is internally democracy, which I think defense to above. Anything else is impossible to vote on. The other thing was the cyber and space impact. LOL, you read defense to those things, but anyways, 2 hour impact explanation is far too vacuous for you to vote on it. Now, the argument about certainty stuff turning the case, it's incorrect. It's incorrect. They dropped the Nesbitt card, which actually says this sort of error in CMR, the idea of backlash actually makes that entity far more credible. No more work there, so these, it's a vision of not turning the entire case, and also it's another argument now. You should filter all the solvents to say say no, and to say no is the premise of the Salty Next because it means that there's a risk that overseas policy not adopted. Does not prevent a North Korea conflict, which was the impact of it, which was the impact all along, sort of depth of certainty as well. But when I say Kim Carr says it must be especially clear and obvious to North Korea that the United States is intending to adopt this posture, which sort of the internally between those things. Now, saying no, the first evidence is the Twitchy tossing card indicates that domestic and institutional imperatives means that the comments bold from the blue shift and forcing Biden to sort of ad hoc adopt a overseas policy will never be rejected. Biden does not want to do those things, especially given the uncertain warrants on political costs would not be a sudden reversal from the publishing of the NPR where he considered an overseas policy, took the advice of military leaders and scholars and chose not to do so until he altered his mind simply like months later. Second is the sour card. This is the card you should explicitly read after the debate. It's like the entire facet of society rallies against the plan. They might be right that the military might have some influence over the president, but literally the entire rest of the government rallies against this. There's a pro-nuclear order that has interest. The Pentagon, which is distinct from the JCS, because the rest of the military advisors, the existence of nuclear industries, cities, and states that base nuclear capabilities, which are critical to their economy, the nuclear labs, banks, which rely on financing and engage in these things, the defense industry generally, universities, which engage in much of research, which are prerequisites, consulting companies, think tanks, and the entire military-industrial complex rally against it. And sure, Biden never agrees to the land or presidential power. The last argument they sort of had was this exertion over presidential power, and the military has a sort of unique influence. This is incorrect. After one day, our Collins card, which says that the president does not get coerced, and actually, just sort of unequal exertion of power, it goes in favor of the president. He does not get coerced by them. So